time to craft the perfect renewal sandwich. All right, first we need a customer who needs insurance. That's easy, got a lot of those. Then we've got to have the meat of the renewal, the carrier with the insurance policy. That's better. Now we've got to add the broker. I mean, you can try it without, but personally it's one of my favorite parts. Now we need some endorsements. Endorsements. Oops, underwriting has some restrictions to add. Let's take some of that back. Oh, this is a curveball. We've got a high-risk Florida flood zone going on here, so we're going to need a little something extra as well. Yum, who doesn't love a little government insurance? And of course, you can't have a tasty renewal sandwich without a little insurance technology to bring the whole thing together. Now that is one tasty-looking renewal. Let's dig in. Welcome back to Insurtube. Here are your Insure News Stories of the Week. It's almost December, which means everyone's favorite time of year is here, renewal season. What can we all expect for the current state of macroeconomic factors impacting renewals? Here's the good, the bad, and the ugly. And let's get the ugly out of the way, shall we? Inflation is rising, eroding premium growth and increasing claim costs. A recession could be on the way. Those are always fun. Property rates were already going up, and then Hurricane Ian hit loss ratios hard. This may result in a hit to insurers' capital and reinsurance, meaning Ian's rate impact could extend to other lines of business and geographies, with the rates increasing as high as 20 points. Also hitting the property side, real estate activity is expected to slow in 2023. Fewer home purchases typically equates to fewer new home policies. The war in Ukraine has increased risk and awareness of cyber attacks. Both governments and private entities are on high alert. Which brings us to the good. This is also an opportunity for both cyber insurance and risk prevention. Awareness is, after all, the top of the marketing funnel. Double-digit cyber growth is expected to continue. The good news is that flood season is over. The bad news is that the one we had was bad, like 2 out of 5 stars bad. Would not recommend. Flooding in Pakistan and Hurricane Ian in Florida put flood insurance back in the spotlight going into the final quarter of 2022. Rising flood premiums and other factors have left an estimated 80% of homes impacted by Ian uninsured. The National Flood Insurance Program currently insures around 5 million policies, down from nearly 6 million in 2008. Florida and other flood-prone areas are notoriously challenging for insurers that annually face huge cat losses. Florida hurricane expert Brian Chapman of Chapman Insurance Group estimates total damage from Ian will cost about $60 to $70 billion. Climate change, population growth, and increasing property values are often cited as top drivers of the snowballing problem of flood insurance. And I don't want to point fingers, but if all you folks on the coast would just come to landlocked Minnesota, seems like this would all be less of a problem. Yes, it's an Arctic hell 4, maybe 5 months of the year, but from June to early July, it's amazing. The private insurance market's approach to this challenge has been the implementation of more granular mapping to improve pricing, parametric insurance to streamline claims handling, and encouraging insureds to move to Minnesota. Despite these efforts, flood continues to be an incredibly difficult area of the industry for carriers, brokers, and insureds. It remains to be seen what additional steps can be taken before the next large-scale flood event. But hopefully we have at least a few months to figure it out. And now it's time to jump over to today's guest, Bobbie Shrivastav, co-founder and chief operating officer at Benekiva. Welcome, Bobbie.
Well, thank you for having me, Amber.
Yes, thrilled to have you. First up is Say What, where we share a quote to get your reaction. Today's quote comes from USA Today, who reported in 2016 that major life insurance companies reached an agreement with state insurance regulators to pay out $7.4 billion of unclaimed benefits. The reporter stated that of the total amount, $5 billion would go directly to beneficiaries they find, and $2.4 billion would go to the states. So, Bobbie, what did you think of that stat back then? And what changes have you seen since then in the life insurance industry? Where are we at now?
My partner, Brent, started this research around why is that? And what we found were four main issues that caused these unclaimed property issues. One is, as you know, from an insurance perspective, if you think about the fintech move, the insurtech move followed the fintech move. And when you look at the insurtech move, PNC is the leader and life annuity and health follows. Issue number two that we found were legacy systems. The third piece is in the life world, there's a lot of complex processes, heavy state regulation around contestable claims, around how do you handle estates, how do you handle trust, right? There's a lot of different processes. And if you don't have a process or a system that manages these requirements, of course, you're going to have these issues. And then the fourth piece is requirements, regulation keeps changing. And that list keeps growing and growing and growing. So how can a carrier really handle these complexities with so much legacy process and legacy stack?
Definitely an incredibly complex problem with a lot of room for continued innovation, that's for sure. Fascinating time for the life insurance industry. And that brings us to our last segment, Who's Your GOAT? Where you get the chance to share a bit about a leader in the industry who inspired you or in some way helped shape your career. So who is your greatest of all time, Bobbie?
From an industry perspective, like a person that's really helped shape my career has been one really strong mentor, more in the financial services, and Mike Bevilacqua. He's now retired, but he used to be a head of operations for PepsiCo accounts receivables, and every portion of my journey, he has been the person that has helped give me great advice. Even as an entrepreneur, I will come in and ask him questions. And that's years ago, or years later. And, when I look at someone that's deep operations, someone that at an operations center had the budget, had the innovative drive to shape the, accounts receivables is a very operations focused area. And when they hired me, he basically is like, land of dreams, Bobbie, go innovate. It takes a lot of courage, and his leadership showed that. And I think when I think about a GOAT, I think about him because he resembles that. He resembles the ability to promote females, the ability to give opportunities, and I was very young in my career, right? Take risks, take chances. I failed. It's okay. He continued to encourage.
Oh, I love that. Thanks so much, Bobbie, for sharing a little bit about your GOAT and your perspective on the rapidly evolving life insurance industry. And thank you to everyone at home who took the time to tune in for some insurance news and conversation. Follow Insurtube on LinkedIn and subscribe on YouTube to catch new episodes every other Monday at noon Eastern. We'll see you soon.